Thanks, Craig. And I'm glad the footy club put together some highlights of all my goals, because if you saw my points, we'd be here all night. And Spud, if you thought you were $1.10 to tear up, I'm $1.05 at the moment, so look out. I'm just going to refer to my notes a little bit. I don't mean to do that, but I think it'll keep me on track and keep the tissues in my pocket. So I'm not sure how I'll go, but my aim in delivering this speech wants to encapsulate a bit about the other three guys finishing and what they've said tonight and how they've spoken. So to Boomer, to Spud and to Dell, I aim to keep this speech short, keep it punchy, and hopefully deliver it with a bit of class. Draft camp, Neville Stibbard, the recruiting chief at the footy club at the time, gave me this first opportunity. I remember walking past Dennis Pagan after doing a beep test and saying g'day. And when we arrived back at the Tullamarine Airport, as the draft camp used to be up in Canberra, I remember telling Daniel Harris good luck and that I'd watch him on TV next year, let alone, little did I know that 6 weeks later we'd be sharing a house and be able to call each other teammates. And that house was Lance Williams and his family in Keilor Park Drive, 77 Victory Avenue. Drove down the street yesterday, and it only seems like yesterday that Mum and Dad dropped me off. My brother and sister, Scott and Lauren, were there. I was a kid that never ventured far from home and got homesick on school camps a lot. So the first night there was tears. I didn't sleep a wink. I sweated like a pig. I was worried that my alarm wouldn't go off at 6 a.m. when we had to get up, because Dennis Pagan was infamous for his early morning pre-season training sessions. He started them at 7:30 or 7 a.m, so that was new to me, getting up that early. It was dark, and I remember going in convoy down to the footy ground on the first day. I didn't know where I was going, so I followed. Lance was driving. Daniel Harris was behind Lance. He was in his red Camaro with a sunroof. Fluffy dice on the mirror, and I'm ashamed to say that I had to ride in that car a few times to training. And I was third in the convoy, and driving down Keilor Road. For those people that know, they got the trams on Keilor Road, and I never knew about tram. What was the regulations, the rules? Lance got through a tram that had stopped. Harrow got through. He didn't know what was going on either. And then I was bringing up the rear, and I got a quick lesson in what happens when you run past a tram that had stopped. I nearly took out a few people that day, and forever learn a lesson. The first hand I shook was David King. He made me feel welcome. Stuart Cochran was another, and Brent Harvey wasn't too far behind those guys. First training session, Brent might be one of the only ones who can remember this, but the old lower back and hammy stretch. The first partner was Corey McKernan, and never forget his big crooked hands that I still see today in coming up and saying, do you want to have a partner stretch, mate? So the first day, it was 16 years ago, but I still remember it like it was yesterday. Getting to wear the number 20, I wore that as a junior. Wayne Schimmelbusch made the number famous at this footy club, and he probably thought he had the total games covered when he played over 300 himself. I've gotten to know Shimmer and the boys from the 75 and 77 flags, and we had Johnny Law speak to us this year, earlier in the year, and the passion that he spoke with is something hopefully I can speak with about this great footy club in years to come if I get asked back in the future. And I look forward to seeing the next custodian in 2017 wearing the number 20 jumper. Living with Boomer. So after living with Lance for a little time, I moved in with Boomer. I'm not going to get too personal about how good our friendship relationship is. It'll probably bring me to tears. But to live with him for 2 years, to prepare, to learn from a guy I'd already played 6 or 7 years, you did a truckload in helping me get to where I am today. I can't see you like Spud said, you're blind up here, but wherever you are in the room, mate, I owe a lot to you. After 2 years of living with him, and by that time his now wife Shane had moved in, and those two canoodling on the couch and kissing and smooching in front of me was enough, so I moved out. Brent's family, Brent's mum and dad, Neil and Deb, took me in as a bit of a lost country boy. Brent used to take me around once a week to Neil and Deb's in Enfield Avenue in Preston, and we used to have dinner. I'll never forget that. To Brent, your brother and sister Shane and Tara, took me in as a family, and I didn't have any friends outside the footy club at that stage, so to you guys, you made me feel welcome. I cherish the friendship I have with you guys today, and a lot of the other extended friends of yours, and to Kim as well. You fed me a few times, Shane's mum, and to Billy, the brother who had to, share his meal with me at a few dinners. Thank you, and I'll never forget the moments that we had. Neil Harvey also taught me the art of rhyming slang and talking shit, so thanks, Neil. My manager of Shane Casley, 13 years, he was Brent's manager at the time, been outstanding support to me and to the extended TLA team. We got a good friendship going there and just wanted to thank them for what they've done. Players and key football staff are the tip of the iceberg. When you look at a footy club, there's a whole army of people underneath the surface of the water. Fitness staff, medical staff, property staff, volunteers, admin staff, you're all part of the team, and I'll have friends for life in all those departments. The good thing about the North Melbourne Footy Club is that you learn pretty quickly that you're all one, and the lesson was taught to me by another great shin boner in Lee Colbert. At the end of each season, Colby would rally up a lot of the volunteer staff, because back 15 years ago, there's a lot of volunteer staff, and Colby used to put them on a bus, take them out to a pub, pay for them for dinner, have a beer with them and drive them home. So the appreciation you have for all the extended staff members was something that Colby taught me as a kid at North Melbourne. It's hard to individualise too much, but I'm going to do a little bit here. Coaching staff that I've sort of dealt with more closely across my career in Tim Harrington, Paul Hamilton, Robert Pyman, Darren Buick, Brett Allison, Shane Watson and Lee Tudor. I've dealt with you guys directly, more so over the years than some of the other staff who I've left out, but you guys have all made me a better person, first and foremost, and a better footballer. To my senior coaches, Dennis, he had plenty of sayings across his coaching lifetime, paganisms they're called to a lot of the players who heard them, and one of his paganisms that I learnt, and it's always stayed with me, is that AFL footy is a jungle and that only the toughest survive. So to Dennis, for the first 2 years as senior coach for me, you've taught me lessons to allow me to survive for the 16 years, so could you just put your hands together for Dennis and what he did for me for those first couple of years. To Dean Laidley, who I played all bar one game whilst he was coach. He played me on all parts of the ground, but he just made me believe that I was good enough to play at the AFL level, to be a consistent player at AFL level. He's been an outstanding mentor and teacher, and I'll be forever grateful for what Dean did for me. To Brad, who has been a mentor, and we have a relationship of a coach-player relationship, which you've got to have in this business, but now it's a coach-friend relationship, and I'll cherish our friendship for the rest of my life, Brad. And this year, when I was battling, Brad's support was absolutely unwavering. He never doubted me, never questioned me, just backed me in, told me to keep jumping for the footy when the wolves were out, when the people were coming for me. Brad, rock solid, and I'll never forget that. We had plenty of conversations, I think one after about round 12 this year, and I thought you were going to sack me on the spot, but that's how I was feeling. But you said the complete opposite, so that's unbelievable by you. A couple other footy club stalwarts, Darren Crocker, Donald McDonald. I think about 10-year relationship we've had with you guys. One thing I've learned from the both of you is that you certainly talk too much, but you've made me a better person. You two guys are really good characters that I look up to. I always have and I always will. And to Mickey Kennedy. Mick's been a batch day assistant for longer than I've been on this planet, I think, and kicking high balls to me in the forward pocket in my first few years, making me become a reasonable mark. I won't forget that, the time and the effort that you put into me has allowed me to last 16 years. So thanks, Mickey, and to Croc and Donald as well. I thought I was going to cry, but it's I don't know. I'm probably being a bit blunt here, but I think it's the best way forward for me to get through without shedding a tear. Today when I was at home, finishing off my speech, the first time, and actually the only time I started to cry, was when I started to talk about the boys. There we go, $1.05 I've just paid out. Camaraderie, I'll miss banter in the locker rooms, in the change rooms, in the gym, on the field, everywhere, going interstate, doing goal kicking. That's what I miss, the camaraderie. But the friendships will remain forever, and I look forward to keeping those friendships, because that's something that'll be everlasting in my heart. To the supporters and the members, it's you who we play for. It's you who inspire us. Special mention to the regulars who sit on the city side at Etihad. The roar we get from you and the cheer squad when we run out each week is inspiring and puts goosebumps on us all. So thanks for that. Now, none of the above mentioned can really happen unless it's all built on good foundations. So my family, I've got got a table here tonight of mum and dad, my brother and sister Scott and Lauren here tonight. The love and support you've shown me. I think there we are, 29. The love and 29 table. Don't bug me later, please. All right, but I'm on 29. The love and support you've shown me has been unwavering, and the way that you've supported my brother and sister. Oh, well, they're your kids too, your other son and daughter. There's been, words can't put into. I can't put into words, and there isn't enough time here tonight to tell you how much I love all four of you and the support you gave me and the goal kicking we used to do out the front at home, Scott, and when my sister Lauren, when you would jump on the tramp and we were kicking footies at you was good target practice. I'll never forget those memories. And I think Dad, you missed one game in 16 years, one Melbourne game, and you've travelled interstate and given me the support every son could wish for. So thank you for that. My wife Nicole, so we're going through it a bit today, and she just wanted to, this is her speaking, so I'm speaking on behalf of my wife here. So Nicole wanted to thank the club for making her feel so welcome as well. She loved being a part of the club and is really going to miss being a part of it next year. She feels like she's leaving tonight as well, or sort of are, I suppose. She feels so grateful for the time we've had and the friendships that we'll take away with us. And the club's been really inclusive, as I've mentioned, but a special mention to Carly Fox and to Neil Connell, who initiate, instigate and make sure that all the players' partners are made feel welcome. So good on you. I can't see. Are you crying? You crying? Oh, I don't know. All right. And to Nicole, whose parents are here tonight, my in-laws, John and Julie, been a fantastic support. Coming down to every game as well since we've been together. I've had to wrestle some Essendon paraphernalia out of my father-in-law's wardrobe, but roof of life now. Just you guys for raising such a beautiful daughter, who I get to now call my wife and best friend. You are my best friend, Nicole. Your support inspire me, kick me in my ass when I'm starting to feel sorry for myself. You're so strong and really, really stubborn. I don't know which parent you get that off, but we might work that out soon. You've got a beautiful heart, a caring nature, and like I think Spud and the other guys might have mentioned already, that we can't do what we do without great support. So I love you, Nicole. Thank you, North Melbourne. You gave me every opportunity, and I can never repay the faith that you showed in me. I gave everything in my time here at North. I'll leave with the emptiness of not being able to bring home the 5th Premiership Cup to this club, but I'll be there in the crowd when this day comes and when the Shinboners bring home our 5th flag. Thanks.